Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I just thought I'd do a quick video as we're preparing for our trip to Europe, as you all know, to the Grand Prix and trip down to Italy and stuff like that. We did purchase something which was amazing. We thought that we'd need some fans from the back, although the van's got air conditioning in the front when the engine's running and we're driving, it's fine, but in the back it can get, even though the aircon's on in the van, it can still get pretty hot in the back. So we thought we might need some fans, especially for at night time as well, when we're sleeping up above or we're sleeping down here. It can get a bit claggy, even though with the windows down a little bit, it can get, we need to get some sort of air circulation. So we looked about for some fans. We did think about just having like just your normal fans just to move the air around, and then Kerry found something which was pretty amazing, which I'll show you right now. So guys, this is it, and this little thing is absolutely amazing. I'm going to do a little review on it because I think it's that good, it's worth the review. For those of you out there that have got camper vans, or even at home, you've been using this at home, this is how I've realised how good it is. It's called a bell drain. You can get them on Amazon. We got a right bargain because at the time there was 35% off, I think it was, but it was more or less buy one get one free. They are back up to 39 quid now. I think it was 39 or 29 quid, something like, whatever it was, I can't remember, but we got two for 40. So I think they were, in fact I think they were 39 quid now, but we got two for 40, which was an amazing deal. And I tell you what, they're absolutely brilliant. I've been using it for the last couple of nights at home, and we've got two, so we can have one on each side of the bedside cabinet. And it's just been brilliant, just blowing on you. And it's got three different settings, three different fan speeds. I'll show you it all plugged in a second. I'll just come back round to me. Yeah, so like I say, we've been using it for the last couple of days at home, and it's just absolutely spot on. Honestly, it don't get me wrong, it's not gonna cool the room, it's not gonna cool your massive room, but if we've got two of them going in this small space in the van, it might actually keep it quite cool. But in your house, in a big room, it's not going to do that, so don't expect it to do that. But if you've got it on the side, on your bedside cabinet or your bedside drawers, and it's blowing at you or on you, then it's just the job, and it worked perfectly for us. I mean, when we had that heat wave, we proper struggled at night time. We've actually froze hot water bottles, which I know is a bit strange. We froze them and we put them in our bed, and that kept us pretty cool, which is another good tip. Obviously that was Kerry's idea as well. Kerry's not here at the moment because she's at work, but I just thought I needed to do this review because this thing is absolutely amazing. So let's get into it and I'll show you some bits and bobs. Right, so here's all the components. Basically, you've got the unit itself, which is really simple in design, but it just works amazing. So you've got a little fan which looks like it looks like a fan for a computer or a PC or something, but trust me when I say it's lightweight, it hardly weighs anything, it's small, it's compact, it's just brilliant. So what you get with it, you got that unit, obviously. You've got your charge lead, which is, it can be 240, or you can actually use it as a USB socket. That just unplugs out of there, and you can plug it into any USBs like we've got over here. You get your filter, which is really clever. I mean, I didn't realise I had to work out what was going off of it because the instructions aren't that great. But because I've learned, I'm going to explain it to you. You get these little tanks here, which you fill up with water, and I'll be quite honest with you, they work just as well with just water in it. You don't necessarily need to freeze it, but what they recommend you do is you fill it to the line, you freeze it, and then you top it up with water. And then you've got this cap on the top which unscrews obviously to fill it up, but you've got this little valve in the top here, all right? And what I thought, right, so this fits in here like that. It's a bit difficult to do with one hand. That fits in there, and what happens is when you close that, it pushes down and opens that valve. So at first I was thinking, flipping it, that's going to leak out, because if you see in there, look, it's got the little pin, sorry, and that presses on that valve and opens it, right? But what it does is it just dribbles water into the bottom of there. It's really clever, honestly, right? And what it does is it soaks up through the bottom there, and it soaks up the filter, and then that's where the fan blows through there. So that sits inside there, and the fan just pulls the warm air through. It goes through the filter, which is already sodden with nice freezing cold water, because it like wicks up, and then it blows out. So it's like a humidifier as well. So you know, if it's dry, or the air's dry inside your house, it just puts that moisture back into the air. It's brilliant, and it's like a paper filter, and you can actually, it recommends that you freeze this as well. Once it's soaked up and wicked up with water, they recommend that you actually put this in the freezer, and that improves the cooling even more. I've not actually tried that yet, because I've just realised that's what's happening with this. That's how it works. Is it wicks up through that. So I've tried it with it frozen and cold water, and it works just as well with just cold water. So you don't necessarily have to freeze this. Obviously, it's going to make a little bit more of a difference, but I am going to try freezing this filter. It also says that these are dishwasher washable, so you can wash them. If they go a bit mildewy, you can rinse. You can soak them in a bit of vinegar and water solution, and it just does the trick. So what this does is that fits in there, and the other good thing about it as well is it's got LEDs, which we all know what I'm like with my lights. So that fits back in there, and as you can see, there's like a channel inside here, and when they go in like that and you close the lid, it pushes that down and opens that little valve there, and then the water just starts to fill that channel up, but it doesn't overflow. I thought it was leaking at first, but it wasn't. I was wondering where the water was going, and that's obviously where it goes. It wicks up. So I put it on, I tested it all night last night, right? And obviously the other thing is as well, this flap can moves up and down. Can you see that? So you can direct the airflow. I will plug it in a minute and I'll show you it working. But honestly, I was very like skeptical about it and thought, what's going on? But I did think it was leaking. And what it does, it just, how it works is very, very simple, but very clever at the same time. And I left it on all night last night as a test, because when I used it the night before, I woke up and only one half of the bottle on one side, I only had it on for a couple of hours, had disappeared, and I was thinking, where's the flipping water gone? Because it wasn't leaking all over the side, it wasn't gone, I couldn't work out where it had gone. So then I worked it out and thought, you know what, I know what it is now. And that's how it works. So I left it on all last night, and this morning all the water had disappeared. So obviously that water's gone through, it's been blowing through that filter, it's been basically drying out as it's coming out and going into the atmosphere, and it's used all the water. And so obviously that water's gone somewhere, it's gone in the air, in the room, in the bedroom, which is just fantastic. It's just amazing, honestly. For the price of what this is, it's brilliant. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug it in the van, because I've got a couple of things. I've got a couple of them tanks, because we've got two. I've got a couple of them in the freezer ready to go. So I'm going to put them in the van now, and I'm going to see how cold it gets the van in this small area. I'm going to test it out, and I'll let you guys know. But if I'll just plug it in and I'll just show you, because it's not noisy at, well, it is not, if you have it on the low setting, if you've got it on the low like number 1 speed, it's not very loud at all. It obviously, the faster the fan speed blows, the louder it gets, but I had it on number 1 all night, and it was absolutely perfect, and it didn't affect my sleep whatsoever. So basically you got, it will spin you around again. So basically like 3 buttons on top, that's your on. So I'll turn that on. Now that's blowing. I don't know whether you can hear that, but that, the fan's at the back. Right, that's number 1 fan speed. So number 2 gets that little bit louder, which you could probably get away with sleeping at that. I mean, I didn't have any issues with sleeping with it on 1. Or you've got number 3. which is obviously a lot louder, but it depends what you want from it. I mean, most people have big fans in your room, those big things that spin round, we all know them. They make a horrendous noise. But this thing, and all they do is move around warm air. But even now, with nothing in there, just because it's still wet from last night, it's got a chill to it. And it's 25 degrees out here right now. It's just, honestly, I can't recommend this thing enough. I'm not getting paid or anything for this. This is just something that we've discovered, and I think it's going to help a lot of other van people that have got little camper vans like this, or even at home, like I say, blowing on you at the side of your bed. But anyway, so yeah, it's also got, you can't quite see because it's, there we go, 7 different colours I think it is. But at night time, that really does give off a nice ambient light. You see, you just keep pressing that and it changes in different colours. The only downside is you can't have the light on without the fan on, which I think is a thing that they could probably make, because it's nice to have, just have that, use it as a lamp, as an ambient light. You know, just as a, look, so you press, you can't just have the light on without the fan on, which is a little bit annoying for me because I do like my lights. But yeah, it's just so simple. And the fact that you can plug it into USB as well as 240 is just brilliant. And looking at the spec on it, it only uses, I think, I'm going to test it myself, but I think it only uses 5 watts. So, you know, for those of you that struggle with power and stuff like that, you could quite easily leave this on all night and it's not going to affect your battery hardly anything, because 5 watts is nothing. It might be a little, I think it says max 5 watts, so even if you've only got it on fan setting 1, it's probably going to be less. So, I mean, we don't struggle with that, as you know, because we've got lithium. But I am going to test it in the van. I've just washed the van in preparation for our trip. It is Monday today. We've got tomorrow to go, and then Wednesday we're off. So I'll probably update you on this on Wednesday when we're on a journey, or when we do our first video or something like that, when I've just tested it out a little bit more, seen what it's like and how it performs in the van. And then it'll give you all a bit more of an insight. But I highly recommend, even if it's full price, you know, it's worth it. I mean, we were lucky to get it, so we got 2, which is buy one get one free, because we thought we could have one in the roof in the pop top when the boys are up there, and we can have one down here. And we were just lucky enough to get it at buy one get one free. So you might find that you'll see an offer. I have seen them a little bit cheap. I've just had a quick look. I think you can get them off eBay for about 22 quid at the moment, so that's a good price still, because they've gone back up to 39 quid on eBay, on Amazon. But yeah, just for what I've used it for, honestly, you'll be amazed. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a fucking, it's not a, sorry, excuse me there, it's not going to be an air conditioner, and it's not going to cool a massive room. Don't expect that, you know. I've looked at the reviews and there's people moaning about that, and I just think it's not an air conditioner. It's a 30 quid, 40 quid device. It's not going to be a £1,000 air conditioning unit, you know. It is what it is, and it does what it says on the box, and it just works fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling, but Baldry, wow, amazing little product.